Mommy makes the vlog. Hello everyone. This video isn't going to be an average vlog. This is kind of me going on a bit of a rant. So if you don't like vlogs and you don't like rants, then I will see you next vlog, and please pardon me because now I'm going to don my Ranty McRant Pants because I have to get this out of my system. Basically, one of the big things that's been happening over the last few days is that I've been sick. Like, I've been really sick ever since pretty much the start of 2015. And because of that, because it's a small thing, it's some respiratory, virus, flu thing that's been going on. It's really super annoying, but because of that, I keep getting irritated at like the smallest little things. And one thing that kind of is a constant irritation for me is people mispronouncing my name. My name, I feel like my name isn't that hard. It's Jennilee. It's spelled Jennilee. Jennilee. Not that hard. At least I wouldn't think so, and a lot of people who know me wouldn't think so. But I get it mispronounced a lot, to the point where when it happens a lot in a span of days, like the last 3 days it's been happening to me, it really gets on my nerves because you wouldn't think it's that hard. But there are specific things about when people mispronounce my name that irritate me. The first big thing that irritates me is, and this is the biggest thing that irritates me, is when people are reading my name and they see it. It's right there in black and white in front of them. It's spelled Jennilee, but they read it as Janelle, which is kind of the lesser of these two evils. Or they read Jenni, and then instead of reading the last three letters as Lee, they just automatically, in their brain, insert FER and call me Jennifer. Now, let me give you a little background as to why this annoys me so much. My name when I was born was Jennifer. Born in 1981, and at that time, Jennifer was the most popular girl's name in the United States. And not that I mind having a popular name, but when you live in a small town and it's a popular name, and it's not just a popular name in the country, it's a popular name in your town. Growing up, I felt like I had no real identity of my own. Like, giving you an example, when I got to high school, my graduating class when I was a senior was roughly 200 students. And that included, like, the alternative ed and the adult ed, and people I didn't see on a daily basis. So, but let's go with that number because it's a nice round number. 200 students. Okay. So 200 students in my class in high school. Say roughly half of them are female. So 100 students are female. I counted in my yearbook once. We had 23 Jennifers. Just in my class. Not to mention the classes before me, the classes behind me. We had 23 Jennifers in my class alone. So almost a quarter of my class was named Jennifer. Okay? And it got to the point where in classes where it was just my grade or classes where there were mixed grades, there were so many Jennifers that teachers would just call us Jen and then whatever our last name was. Now, I'm not going to tell you what my maiden name was, but let's just say my maiden name was Smith, okay? So for the greater part of my high school experience, no matter who was talking to me, no matter what, I was Jen Smith. I wasn't even Jenny, I wasn't Jennifer, I was Jen Smith. Because there were so many Jennifers. We had to be identified by our last names. And, heaven forbid that there was more than one Jennifer with the same last name. I think that happened once. And those poor people, those poor schmucks. Ugh, I feel bad. But that didn't happen to me. Anyway, I got to be when I was an adult and I got married to Jason that I said, you know what? Instead of just showing my marriage certificate and changing my last name, I want to change my full name. Now, the story of my name change kind of goes like this. When I got online after I left high school and all that, my online persona became Jennilee because when I was growing up and there were so many Jennifers, Both my best friends were Jennifers. So my family, instead of just calling me Jen in my last name like all of my teachers did, they would call me Jennilee. Amalgam of my nickname Jenny and then my middle name at the time, Lee. And I liked that. I really liked that. So when I got online, I got onto blogging and social media, I went by Jennilee everywhere. And that was great. And I loved it. It felt right to me. So when I got married in 2008, I said, you know what? I'm just going to change my name. I'm going to change my first name to Jennilee, and then that's going to be it. But since Lee was my middle name, I had to pick a new middle name, which was interesting, and I'm not going to say it, and I'm going to go into that. But I did eventually find the middle name I liked, and then I took my husband's last name. So ever since I've had this name, a lot of the time when I'm getting called my former name, when I'm getting called Jennifer, it's because either it's somebody who's done business with me in the past and they only know my old name and I have to correct them about 1 billion times, or it's somebody who, again, reads Jenni and then just immediately assumes Jennifer. And those are the people that get on my nerves. It's called learn to freaking read. Okay? Okay. But the other things, just little mispronunciations, it doesn't get on my nerves until I correct you, but then you still keep mispronouncing my name. The most common mispronunciations, besides just getting my name wrong altogether, they either get it right, which is pretty rare actually. They call me Jennilee, which if you look at it spelling wise kind of makes sense, but just no. Or, and this one doesn't phonetically or doesn't, visually make sense, but I get the most common one I get is Jennilee. Like Jenna as in Jenna Marbles. Plug for my favorite YouTuber goes here. But they'll call me Jenna and then Lee. So Jennilee. It's like, no. Where in Jenni do you get Jenna? I mean, seriously. It's Jennilee. Jennilee. Not that hard. So, I mean, I've had this happen where, like, a doctor's office calls me, nurse talks to me and says, can I speak to Jennilee Benda? And I correct them. I said, I always correct them when I say, this is Jennilee. So that they kind of get the hint, oh, by the way, my name goes this way. And, about, 75% of the time, if they say my name again, they get it right. So, yeah, fine. These are people I'm only going to be dealing with on a provisional basis. These are, people I don't see every day. Most of the time, my coworkers either call me correctly or they just call me Jenny, and that's fine. But I've had fellow students when I was still in school do this to me. I've had people that I dealt with as a student who weren't my classmates do this to me. I've had a couple of friends, actually, people that there's one friend in particular. I love them so much. They're like family to me, but they constantly mispronounce my name. And it's really annoying, but at the same time, I kind of take the attitude that, as my father-in-law calls it, it's not the hill to die on. My friendship with that person means more to me than correcting them on my name. Because I have corrected them, I don't know how many times. And they still mispronounce my name. And I've said, if it's easier, call me Jenny. I say that to everybody, especially with like teachers. They'd call my name for roll and they'd say Jennilee. I say it's Jennilee, but call me Jenny if it's easier. And a lot of times they would do that, and that was fine. But my friend, I've said, call me Jenny. If Jenny's easier, call me Jenny. And they're like, Jennilee? I'm just like, no, please. But I kind of keep that no, please on the inside because, sometimes there's just no dealing with it. There's no correcting them to the point where they're just going to get it. And like I said, with that particular person, my friendship means more to me than correcting them on my name. But I decided to make this little PSA because, if you're meeting someone for the first time and they tell you their name and they say, it's this, or you say it and you mispronounce it and they correct you, listen to them And if you still don't get it, like you're like, wait a minute, let me make sure I'm getting your name correct. Because I do this all the time. I meet, when I was in school, when I was at ISU, I would meet people all the time of varying nationalities. And I would see these complicated names and I would say, okay, I want to be careful about your name. Please make sure that I'm pronouncing this correctly. And then I would try to pronounce it. Most of the time they'd correct me. And then I would repeat it so that I made sure that I had it correct in my brain. And then they would either say yes or no. And most of the time, if I heard it once, I had it. But apparently there are people who are just, and they don't get it. They don't get it. Either they're stupid or they don't care, or most of the time I'm pretty sure it's they don't care. Like they're just like, whatever, I don't care. I'm going to say your name however I want to. And maybe it's partly my fault, like mostly my fault, because I picked such a odd name. Like the name Jennilee isn't very common, and I don't even know if everybody who has it that way spells it that way. But the name Jennilee isn't very common. It's actually pretty rare. It is a bit, wonky when you look at it, I guess, for most people. I look at it, I see it very simple, but that's because that's the name that I made and I chose for myself. So maybe I'm just irritating the rest of the world with this. Like maybe people are as irritated about me having a weird name as I am for them mispronouncing my weird name. But I don't know. This is my name. This is a PSA. It's pronounced Jennilee. It's not that hard. Please pronounce it correctly, and I will love you forever. So that was that. And if you're a fellow Jennilee and you're watching this video, leave me a comment. Let me know what sort of things that you've dealt with having this name. And if you're a person who there is a Jennilee and your name gets mispronounced all the time and you're really wanting to get it through to somebody how to pronounce it correctly, just show them this video. Maybe it'll help. I make videos whenever I feel like it, which hasn't been much lately because I've been sick. I am sorry for the extended absence, but I have been very sick, and I finally got to the point where I'm starting to feel better, and I'm hoping to put together some footage of Ranger from the last few weeks. We took him to the vet, and he's such a weirdo. He actually likes going to the vet, and I wanted to try to capture that. So I have video of that, and I'm hoping to put that together and post that later this week. Other than that, I've just been trying to get better and trying to be less sick. I'm hopeful that either later this month or start of next month, I can get some more videos ready to go. I can get on a more consistent posting basis. So there's that. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you aren't being as irritated by stupid little things as I am. And I hope you had a good Wednesday. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.